Helloeth. Hope everybody has had a wonderful time since the last time that we've met. I've made a little bit of progress on our base here, which you can see. Done a little bit of exploring off camera, which wasn't intentionally off camera, but it turns out that I forgot to start the recording software. So anyways, we made a little bit of progress. I'll bring you up to speed on that. We have a couple of lovely smokers that are automated, as I had threatened to make earlier. The chest up top is where you put the raw seaweed. The hoppers bring it down into both of the smokers, and then the smokers will smoke whatever's in there, and it'll go down into the chest below. Anyways, let's head outside for a minute or two and have a look at what's up here. I've got another surprise. We've got some bees. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to basically start farming trees because I do need the trees for resources, and I started planting them, and I thought to myself, well, why don't I grab a few of the flowers lying around and plant the trees beside them? So we were lucky enough for 3 bee hives to spawn with that, which is pretty exciting. Anyways, today what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a little bit of work outside here. It's long overdue. And basically I want to create sort of like a hollowed out area, sort of cutting into the hill a bit, and start a farm, because I need a different source of food than kelp and fish, because it's such a pain in the butt to catch fish, and kelp is not fun to farm at the moment. That'll all change at some point when I get slime blocks and slime machines, flying machines going, but until then, I think that it would just be really nice to have a fresh source of food. Also, I'm going to need some food for breeding up animals as well, which means wheat and seeds. So, wheat for breeding up cows and whatnot, and seeds for breeding up chickens. So, if we recall, I have a little stash of chickens that I'm going to turn into a chicken farm at some point. But in the meantime, I'm going to have to hollow out a lot of this hill here. I think I'm just going to talk for a second about the next steps and the goals that I want to set for this series now. Shovel died. Can't remember if I have ingredients to make another stone shovel up here. Might have to go back down to the base. Nope, nothing. Right, so anyways, we'll head back here. So I want to create a farm with wheat and probably with potatoes. So the potatoes I encountered during my travels, but the wheat is grown from the seeds, which we get from the grass. So we definitely already have some of those. I'll probably use some bone meal to try and accelerate the growth of some of them so I can get more crops going at once. But the ultimate goal is to have several bees close by. And what happens is bees will actually help pollinate your crops and make them grow faster, which is kind of a cool game mechanic. So what I'll probably do once I've hollowed this out with these shiny iron shovels is put the flowers away from the farm, like on the other side of the farm, and have the beehives where they are. I may have to move the beehives, but at the moment I do not have any items with silk touch on them. If you're new to Minecraft and don't know, Silk Touch is an enchantment that allows you to pick items up from the world exactly as they are without them turning into their base version. So for instance, you see as I'm harvesting all of this dirt here, some of the dirt that I'm harvesting is made up of grass blocks. So these grass blocks normally turn into dirt when you harvest them with an unenchanted shovel. With Silk Touch, I would actually pick up the grass block and it would still look like a grass block in my inventory. And when I place it back in the world, it will be a grass block, so a grass-covered dirt block. It's still a dirt block, but it's a kind of a variant of it, right? So Silk Touch lets you preserve whatever that was. And in order to move things like certain items, such as beehives have to be harvested with Silk Touch, otherwise they just break, and you can't pick them up. So, lesson learned. Glad you woke up this morning? Okay. Poor shovel's probably going to die at the end of this. But anyways, I want to continue to bring down the side of this edge here. I want to try and contour it to make it feel gradual, as if it's part of a real hill coming down. But, in nature, things aren't all straight, flat edges. We want to try and round them about as much as we can in a world with, square blocks. And then every once in a while, we want to take a look back and see what it looks like to decide if we've done an okay job or if we feel like it needs a little bit more work here or there. If you watch a lot of Minecraft videos on YouTube, I should make something called MineTube. Anyway, if you watch a lot of those videos, you'll see that sometimes Minecraft players on YouTube will take a look back, they'll step back, and sometimes they'll even fly back with elytra wings, and they'll take a critical look at what they've built from, there goes my shovel, from a distance, because it matters. The way something looks from a distance is also important. As important as like how it looks up close. When you're playing around in your world, you can choose to play a lot of different ways. So for the longest time when I was playing, I would play only, to make farms and to be practical, which is like kind of a lot of, a lot of my personality revolves around that in real life, and I'm trying to work on that a bit. So I started to try and, when building, keep in mind what I want it to look like, because it's a simple thing to say, but it's difficult to do, because it's very easy to get wrapped up in making something that works as opposed to making something that is also nice looking. I never placed an emphasis on that for a long time until I started playing on a server. So one of the YouTubers that I follow is B000100, and he's one of the Hermitcraft players. And basically, his Patreon server, I began supporting him through Patreon and got access to this wonderful server with wonderful people on it. And yeah, I was shown by so many people what it looks like when you put a big effort into building something that you love. There's so much that adds to the game when you, hello horsey, we are friends. There's so much that you add to the game. Oh, iron. I'm getting so distracted. Anyways, it adds a lot to the game when you build with, a bit of passion and a bit of love for what you're building. So on the Patreon server, like, it is just loaded, chock full with tons of players who are amazing builders. Like, some of the structures and landscapes that they've made are just mind-boggling, right? So anyways, I thought I'd try to incorporate some of that into my own building, which I think I'm getting more successful at. I still don't have as much skill as about 90% of the people on that server, but you know what? My bare minimum isn't too bad anymore. So yeah, this is why we are taking the time to try and contour this hill and make some room in it so that I can come up with a farm that is something I like to see, something I enjoy harvesting, right? The game of Minecraft is about providing pleasure for yourself, in that you can create something and step back and look at it and say, hey, that's really nice. I made that. Now, I kind of had an idea up here for maybe a little lake or a pond or something, and that pond could maybe flow down towards the farm, maybe not necessarily all the way in, but into a little pool or something. So why don't we play around with that idea a bit? Remembering how water flows, right? So I don't want it to flow over the whole field or anything like that, and let's fix that. I think that's because I had water flowing before. Just let that finish. I believe it should flow into that little set of 2 blocks there. Yeah, so maybe we'll make like a small kind of waterfall or river, I guess, just flowing downwards. See what that looks like. And up here, we'll have to make this a little bit bigger. Maybe it's some sort of mountain pond, or maybe there's a spring underneath it. The other thought is that water could come basically all the way down from the top of the mountain as well, too. I think that would look really cool. And if we had some sort of lake up there, that would be nice. Anyways, like I said, if you put water in diagonals to another water source, it creates an infinite water source. So you can see all of the water here is calm, and any of those blocks I can pick up and put down as many times as I want, and it'll just fill itself up again. So let's see how this looks. Let's just stop it off here for a second. I think I'm going to need to do this. So this will make sure that it flows down only too wide where I want it to, and should land in the spot below. But while I think about that, The sun is getting real low. I think it's time we finally make a bed. There we go. Maybe it's just me, but I like to place my beds so that they are facing in a way that I can watch the sunset as I go to sleep. I do that just about in all of my builds, just because I like sunsets in real life as well. Okay, I do think this pool needs to be bigger at the bottom here, so at least that's the feeling I have at the moment. So we'll try it out and see what it looks like. Yeah. For me, Minecraft is about experimentation. So it can be very well planned out, or it can just sort of be on the fly. And I tend to do a lot of my stuff on the fly. There are some times when I will plan something out in detail, but most of the time I'm just sort of plowing along on my own, trying to think of an idea that interests me. Okay, that's a good size for that. You know what? I think I want to have some stone with me, just to try and do some shaping of the pool or the water coming down as well. So let's grab some of that. I really need to put stairs here. I'll get around to that shortly, I think. Let's see here. I kind of feel like the path down to this pool possibly should be stone. I think that would feel more natural. So let's put some stone in here and see what that looks like. One of the things that it is nice to do is to try and break up something that is the same to be something different, right? So like a river might have a slightly different elevation or a different shape of the land around it, or possibly a different material underneath it. If you think about streams in real life, they often have like little stones and stuff inside. So let's just fill that up for the moment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to look good. But we'll try it. We'll see. Once again, experiment. Everything is okay in Minecraft. It's unlike real life where there's, actual consequences. In Minecraft, if you mess something up, you can just build it again and change it. It's very rare that you can't fix something without having to totally redo something. Like, you can, and it's doable, but like often just a couple of little tweaks here and there make something look better. Once again, just take a minute, stand back, look at it objectively. No one's judging it but you. I mean, unless you share it, I guess, but like even then people aren't really necessarily judging it the same way. Ugh. Amateur mistakes. So yeah, the bottom of the pool for sure should probably all be stone. I think that'll look nice. Yeah, I'm liking this so far. But let's make more of the up top here stone as well and see what that looks like. Not up there. Ugh. But down here. Also, don't know if you know what I'm doing, but a little trick is if you're standing in front of a block and you have a block in your hand, you bust it and hold down right click at the same time. And as long as the thing you want to place is in your offhand, it'll go right in place of what you took out. The trick is you have to do it quickly, and if you aim the right way, it shouldn't, place a block somewhere else. Okay. Here's our water. Yeah, definitely going to have to make it so it's a more gradual entrance into the pool. First of all, if I get stuck in it, I don't want to die. If something's following me into the water, I want to be able to hop out somewhere, so always make an escape route. Yeah, I think that's coming along nicely. Make it a bit stonier, I think. What else can we do here? Why don't we adjust the water flow a bit? add a little bit of character to the way the water's flowing. I think that'll look really nice. So we can do that by strategically placing some stones just to push the water out. We can take the stones out later, but you notice with Minecraft, once you do something with the stones and the water sort of keeps its shape, which is actually kind of cool. Thinking maybe we'll make it wider as it reaches the bottom. Yeah, I like that. Okay. What else can we do here? Let's just play around for a minute, see how it goes. Now, old Slugbait wouldn't bother making a nice little river like this, but current Slugbait is trying to, so see how it goes. I think it's coming out nicely. I do really like the, other than a couple little tweaks here and there to adjust the water flow, I think we're getting pretty close. So, let's see. What else can we do here now? Probably fill in the water. So diagonal water sources, remember. Then you can take that diagonal one and place it anywhere you feel like it. So if you keep placing diagonals, you'll eventually fill up the entire bottom of the pool. You see how it goes like calm like that. And then we do the same with the top. And it's the same process. You can fill an entire lake doing this. So an entire, Minecraft player-made lake. It's not very hard. Just go along the edges all of the way on one side. And then just automatically, as soon as you start doing it on the adjacent side, it will fill it like that. Now, there's some little tricks and stuff that we can do to try and make more more variety and more interesting features of the water. Like, I think I'm going to try and put a campfire underneath, perhaps. Or maybe a bit of soul sand here and there to add bubbles and steam that makes it look like it's, water falling into a pool. But I think this is a good start. What I'll also do now is I'm going to replace, little sections here and there with a different material. So in this case, cobblestone. I think cobblestone looks really good in a river because rivers do really have pebbles in them. At least all the ones I've seen. So I think that'll be a nice feature. I might adjust the size of the pool up above and the pool below. And I may decide to make this river run all the way from the top of the mountain. I'm actually really thinking I want to do that. Another idea. Let's get some slabs. And just in case I can fit it somewhere, staircase, just to try it. Never done this before, so bear with me. See, even from a distance, the variety in the stone makes it look really nice. Slabs are also nice because, well, first of all, they break up the look of something, but also they allow you to make little steps that are half steps. So you can actually walk up surfaces that have half slabs strategically placed, which is kind of nice. Not necessarily for this, but it allows you to have a very gradual ascent or descent from one place to another without actually using stairs themselves. Now, let me think here. Let me just play around with this for a second. That looks nice. Ah, that doesn't join up to it, but that's okay. Yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. Look at that. It's a pool. And a little river. Should probably call it a brook. There we go. Let's have a look from further back. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So we'll definitely add things to and around it. Probably want to put some shrubs around it as well, but we'll see. But now I think we'll get started on the actual farm. So work day's over. Sunset. Very nice. Okay, back to work. So for those of you who've never built farms in Minecraft, there's one thing you need to know. Well, there's a couple things, but one big thing is that the land that you want to plant things on has to be hydrated. So you take a hoe and turn it into farmland. The thing is that it has to exist within 4 blocks of water. So what you can do is you can dig a channel of water all the way along, or else you can plop one thing of water in the water, like in the ground, and then basically you can till all the farmland around there with the hoe. But once again, it has to be within 4 blocks of a water source. So if you have one in the middle, you can make a square. The square ends up being 9 by 9. And to make the farmland go farther, you have to have more water. So in this case, the length of the distance from the water kind of overlaps with the other one, which is okay. Anyways, the goal for this is just to make a farm of a certain area. It doesn't have to be exact, and I'm just sort of playing around with it right now. It could be completely square, of course, but I think that squares are kind of boring, so I need to, uh-oh, here goes my hoe. I need to, just sort of try and vary it around. It's nicer to have a bigger field that isn't exactly square. Although in the past I have done very long square ones. And it depends on whether or not I'm doing something I want to look at and enjoy, or if I'm trying to do something that involves basically like high industry. For instance, if I'm on a server where I'm going to be creating farms that supply people on the server, I'm going to do long rows of crops. Just plain old long rows of crops. Because I need to, harvest tons. For this server, which isn't really a server, it's a single player, but it's, I need enough stuff for myself and for my animals pretty much, but I don't need it to be, super productive. So there's a balance to be found. However, I do like making efficient farms. So perhaps I might change this at some point, but for the moment, I just want something that looks nice when I'm coming in from the distance and also serves the purpose of crops. Tilling the ground. Tilling some more. Keep on tilling. You know what? I think it would make a nice little pond here as well, so let's do that. Diagonal water sources. Anyways, that looks pretty good. I think we'll call it here for the episode. Hope you had a really good time. Stay healthy, stay safe, and until next time, cheers.